Greetings, world, YouTube land. Welcome to Real Life Defense Channel. I'm the OG, and this is the OG Chronicles. I want to start this video off by saying and give my most sincere condolences to the family members that are surviving the horrific act of violence out there in Collier, West Tennessee, outside of Memphis or a part of Memphis. To those in the other Krogers, I can't remember where it was at this time. These senseless acts of violence against the innocent people should stop, must stop. Those in the schools, our children, all of this nonsense has to stop. But how do we stop it? But we have to come to a realization first. No, we're not giving up any guns. I know somebody out there in YouTube land said, give up the guns. No, hell no. We can't do that. We should never do that. And I know you say the two-way people, oh, y'all always talking about a tyrannical government. You're damn right. You can't trust them. You never give nobody an upper hand like that. I know JB will tell you that you need more than an AR-15 to deal with the government. We got Apache helicopters and one congressman, senator, congressman, or whatever said something about nuking their own people. We got nukes. We could just nuke you. I don't know why he's still in office. See, the American people done got soft. Back in the old days, he would have been dragged out. Now, I'm not condoning that y'all go and drag somebody out, but y'all get the picture of what I'm saying. That kind of stuff wouldn't have been tolerated, nor should it be tolerated. Vote his ass out. You know what I'm saying? You research it. I mean, it ain't hard to Google it. Right now, I just didn't have the time to Google it before I started this video because it was heavy on my heart. And I just want to get this out there real quick. Then I'm going on to the gym to get myself conditioned and make myself a little bit harder to kill. But let's get into this. What is the root of the problem? Mental health? Well, hell, we're all crazy. If you living, you got mental problems. You got childhood traumas. All kind of things going on in your life that you've experienced that you're just going to have to get through. That don't give you a right to go out and kill somebody because you're frustrated. Huh? One of my YouTube friends, her daughter was murdered by a coward because she didn't want to go out with him. So he thought it was a good idea to take her away from her family and friends and loved ones. What kind of nonsense is really going on? That a girl can't tell a man, no, I'm not interested, without risking her life. Why are people this bold now? It's really the question you got to ask yourself. I'm going to get into my theory in a little bit. But let's get on to this reality check that I want us to have. Where are we at? Where are we at? Some would say America. We're in the West. The answer is we're on the planet Earth. And this whole planet is based off of the animal kingdom. Is where we reside. The animal kingdom. And in the animal kingdom, it is made up of two dynamics. Predator and prey. From the smallest little ant, bee, bird, monkey, donkey, human. It's part of the nature in which we're created. Now, I know that a lot of us, since we got iPhones and iPads and we've been to the moon and space travel for recreation and HD TV, streaming services, that we feel that we're far beyond that primitive aspect of ourselves. But have you ever noticed Unlike the Jerry curl, bell bottoms, doo-wop hairdos, and certain music styles and whatnot that come and go, violence has always been a constant. It's not a fad. It's been here since the beginning, and it'll be here way after we're gone. We can argue the points. If they didn't have guns, they would use something else. A gun is a great equalizer to those that are physically weaker to the natural predator. Now, you have two types of predators. Two types. You got the wannabe apex predator, and then you have the apex predator. What's the difference? The wannabe is the one that really kind of indulges in social violence. The bully, if you will. He wants you to think that he's tough and wants you to be scared of him. He's loud, talks a whole lot of trash. Wants you to think that he's a bad mamma jamma and you don't want to mess with him. He wants to be associated as an apex predator, as a predator. But apex predators move in silence. The so-called sheep, in quotation marks, because I mean no disrespect by it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to just live your life and not be associated with violence. There's nothing wrong with that. But on the other hand, if you want to stick your head in the sand, realize that your ass is in the air. In the air. How do we deal with the problem? What's the solution, OG? I'm getting to that. So, what is an apex predator? An apex predator moves in silence. It's a tool for him. Violence is nothing more than a tool to get what he wants. And there's no emotions behind it. That's why you can sit there and talk about, oh, I can't believe he did that. Why would he? How could he? Because he's an apex. He's not emotionally caught up in it like you are. There's no difference between an apex predator and an apex warrior. Because both of them realize that violence is nothing more than a tool to get a desired outcome. We use it all the time. When you call the police, the ones that you talking about defunding, which I don't mind if you do, that'll keep me from getting speeding tickets. And I don't need to call the police if somebody try to break in my house. Hell, if anything, that one that broke in is going to be the one trying to call the police to get help. That's the way we roll down here in the dirty South. I don't need the police in that incident. But some of you others might. The ones that done got caught up in all the hype. Now, these people out here trying to do a job, and I realize there's some knuckleheads out here doing the wrong thing, and we'll address that by the end of the video as well. But the ones that are running towards the gunshots when everybody's running away, you can't do nothing but give them respect. They don't know you. You call them for help. What are you calling them for? Well, you calling the police, in real truth, if you analyze it, to threaten violence on your behalf. I say it again. You call the police to threaten violence on your behalf. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Because when the police come, what are they coming with? They ain't got nothing on their tool belt. nothing on their tool belt, that duty belt, that's going to tickle you and make you giggle. Everything on that belt is designed for violence. And you call them because a situation seemed threatening to you. And you needed someone who could deal with violence to come out and help you. You see? But we don't really look at it for what it is. We don't. What's the difference? Social aggression is going to be loud and boisterous. Try to get a scene caused. That kind of stuff, you can pretty much just walk away from that. That ain't no big deal. Your mama's a hoe. Okay. She might be, hell. Everybody had their 20s. You understand? That ain't nothing to get caught up in. But your apex predators, you'll never hear them coming. Look in the wild. When a lion's trying to take over a pride, a lot of noise, a lot of roaring, and a lot of dust being kicked up. But when they're trying to feed, it's silent. It's stealthy. That's the difference. Do you understand? Okay. I kind of got a picture of what you're talking about, OG. But you still ain't told us how we stop it. There's a book by Tim Larkin called When Violence is the Answer. And you remember me talking about the sheep that don't want to be associated with violence and the wannabe tough guy that wants to be associated with violence? But see, that right there is identity. Violence is an identity for them. The ones that don't want to be associated, they don't want to have that identity of being violent. And the ones that do want to be associated, it's an identity for them. It's their ego. It's their pride that's wrapped up in it. But in this book, changed my life. He introduced the concept of violence being a tool. A tool. Now look at it like this. Let me give you a scenario that he gave in the book. There's a young lady. Her husband's out of town. They got a baby upstairs. She's cooking dinner. She's going to feed the baby, feed herself, kick her shoes off, and enjoy TV maybe a little bit before she goes to bed and retire for the night. Well, the predator's out there watching. He bum rushes, boom, kicks the door in. She screams, ah! He goes over there and slaps her. He's going for the rape. And who knows what else. Because there's plenty of people that are sick, that will rape you, dismember you, and go up there and harm your baby as well. We don't know which is which. Some will just rape you and run. Some you can scream loud enough and they'll run. You don't know what you're dealing with. But in this particular instance, for this scenario, he smacked her. He's got her over the countertop. He's trying to rape her. She scratches him and slaps him. And it enrages him. And he grabs a butcher knife and plunges it into her chest. Her eyes roll back and life leaves her body. Now, I'm sure plenty of you would look at it as sane, sober, good people would say, now that is egregious and he needs to be punished to the greatest extent of the law. And I agree. Now let's flip it. She's in there cooking. Boom! He kicks in the door. Pimp slaps her. Gets her over the counter. She reaches and grabs the knife. Hit him in the side of the neck. The carotid artery. Blood squirts. His eyes roll back in the back of his head. He drops. Now, if you're on my side of the fence, you're going to look at that and say, Good job. She saved herself and she saved her baby. If he didn't go up and harm the baby, the baby's going to be crazy when he grows up and realizes what happened to his mother. Trauma, lifelong trauma. You see? But let's take our moral code out of it, our ethical thinking out of it. What just happened? The tool of violence. And on both ends, for the criminal and for her, that tool worked. It won the day. We as a society need to get back to accepting violence as a tool. What do you mean, OG? Our whole justice system needs to change. It's a money racket. And that's the reason we had a problem, in my humble opinion, that we have. A person can do vile and heinous things to another individual. And if they got enough money, they can get out on bail. If they loved ones love them enough, they'll put up their home, real estate, money. And they're able to get out on bail and go out and do it to somebody else. What else? If they do go to jail, when they do go to jail, they're in there for 20 and 30 years, making somebody money because they get paid per head in the jail system, whether it be the state or privately owned. I know what I'm talking about. They're getting paid off of the inmates. And they're in there playing their little jailhouse politics, 3 hots in a cot, playing checkers and dominoes and spades, living their life, while the family members of the victim have to try to pick up the pieces. Now I ask you, where's the justice in that? A lot of people, hell, life on the inside is better than life on the outside. They don't mind. So they'll victimize whenever and every chance they get. The world's gone mad. So we have to put something in place to deter that mentality, that attitude. And I'm telling you that violence works. See, we need to quit all that old monkey ass stuff. Excuse me, YouTube. But I ain't bleeping it out. We got to quit all that old monkey ass stuff. Oh, his rights. Oh, stop that nonsense. And let's get back to the rights of the people, the rights of the innocent, the rights of the family members who got robbed of their loved ones through somebody's old messed up idea of life, or they had a bad day. They're frustrated type stuff. You'd be surprised if you put some real violence as a consequence, how many people will get some act right about them. You'd be real surprised. Not everybody's crazy you think they are. You know, when these people go on these mass shootings, oh, they have mental problems. They wasn't crazy enough to go up in a police convention and pull that shit. They wasn't crazy enough to go up in the NRA or the NAGA convention and pull that mess. They ain't go to the USCCA conventions or nothing like that and pull that mess where people are armed. You understand? They ain't as crazy as they want to try to make you think they are. Violence is how you solve the problem. And let me tell you what I would do if I ran things. First of all, we're going to get rid of that doggone lethal injection BS. That little poo butt stuff. Take a shot and go to sleep. Nope. And I've heard them say that, well, the inside start shutting down or something that's very painful. Nah, it just ain't violent enough. It ain't a deterrence. Plus, they ain't getting there anyway. Spending 40 and 50 years on death row. They die of a heart attack before they die of a real execution. That's what needs to stop. Let me tell you how we started this off. If I was running things. First of all, most of these cowards want attention. They want attention. See, and we've given people like Bundy and Manson and all, we made movies about them and wrote books, and they're infamous. And a lot of these impressionable youngsters want to be infamous too, because they're nobodies in their social circles at this time. And they want to be infamous. They want the little jailhouse groupies and pen pals. So guess what? You get no airplay. We don't mention your name. We don't show your face. We concentrate strictly on the victims of your tragedy and their families. You get in the system, we find out that you're guilty. We get a fair trial. We're going to have to do a fair trial now. If we find out that you're guilty, all evidence points to you. You got 6 months to get your shit in order. 6 months, and then execution comes. And really, any time within that 6 months. 6 months, just the maximum time. That right. I'm going to say it again, 6 months. And I'm going to keep the electric chair, because I believe that right there is a psychological mind on that person walking that last walk to that chair, knowing that you're going to be strapped in and voltage is going to run through your body until you are pronounced dead. And the thought of that electricity is enough to make that doggone booty hole tighten up real tight. You're going to pucker it up real tight on that last walk. Now, if I was to add an alternative, it ain't going to be no better. I would say live cremation. Oh my God, let's cancel him. Do what you will. You either get fried or barbecued in my world. And I guarantee you, 6 months, fried or barbecue, people going to get some act right about them real soon. Real quick. You understand? Now, I got to address the elephant in the room. The symbol of justice is a woman blindfolded holding up a scale that's balanced. Where you going with this, OG? Well, if you're a policeman, detective, DA, or judge, and any of you use your position for malice reasons, meaning on the police or detective side, I don't like these people. Let's frame them. DA, there's evidence that might prove his innocence. Well, shoot, I'm trying to get a higher office. You understand? I need convictions so I can run for this office and become a judge or whatever the case may be. Or the judge that looks at the person, just don't like the way they look and rules against them. If you use your position and send somebody to the death chamber unjustly, you got 6 months. You got 6 months. Fried or barbecued. And I guarantee you, there'll be some act right from that point on. There's going to be some act right. And that, my friend, is how you make America great again. Like, share, subscribe. The OG Chronicles. Stay dangerous and be hard to kill.